Hey everybody, and welcome back. Well, what's been happening since you last saw me? Not a lot. It's still cold, still below freezing all the time. It's snowing at the moment, and we have had more snow. As you can see in the background there, I did make the backsplash for the lathe. I got that bent up at my local steel stockists. They have a couple of great big brake press, must be about 8 foot long, and a similar size shear, and they were telling me, I think it was 1 inch plate they can shear. That must be one hell of a bang when that goes. So anyway, I gave them the dimensions, I think I told you this, and they bent it up for me and I painted it, and oh, look at that, isn't that wicked? I've left the chuck in the key in the chuck. Got to jump up and get that. Alright, so, of course you're all thinking, what's this? Well, this is my Christmas present to myself. I'd watched a couple of, my friend Dick, who will be watching, kept finding little videos on sheet metal work for me, and he sent me one of a fella making a cab corner which was just the same as the end of the tank, and he used one of these and it was so easy. So I thought, bugger it, I'll buy one. So it arrived, and by then Dick had sent me a link to a video from a chap who had one that looks just like this, and it wasn't up to much. It flexed like mad and everything, and you can't see that from here, but it's sort of, his was blue and looked just like this, as if it was cast, but apparently it was sort of fabricated. So he cut it up a bit and added some extra stuff in. So I was a bit dubious because I knew mine was blue and looked the same. So it arrived Saturday, today's Monday, and when I opened it, this is cast. It's definitely a casting. And then I went online and I found a chap in the UK who just bought one of these, and I don't know his first name, he always just says hello, I'm Larsie. This sort of chap here in the US who's a big name in sheet metal, and it was him that made that cab corner. I found a video of his where he got, not this one, a better quality one, but he still had to work on the anvils. And the chap in the UK bought it, put it together, and the stretcher part worked fine, but he was not happy with the shrinker. He was, you know, as you do, thought, oh God, is it rubbish? But anyway, when he took it apart, he found that these anvils here are on a slope, and this top piece has a big V in it, so when it presses down, it pushes under the slope, and that's what makes these go together. See, whoops, that wasn't good, Michael. Get back in there. So these things have slopey edges and they're in a V. So when they get pressed together, they get pushed down into the V, so they come together. Well, when he took them out, the sliding faces were almost like the jaws. They were corrugated. So when he sanded them off and polished them, he was really pleased with the way it worked. He also found that this spring, this one's nice and loose, his was so tight on here that it was actually holding these things up into the V, so they weren't moving. And then when I watched the Larsie one, he was on about exactly the same thing. So I've just taken this apart and sanded and polished them, and it works really well. Let me just put something in the jaws, because as Dick mentioned to me, don't be pressing the jaws together. So it now works quite nicely. So they came with a pair of stretching jaws as well, which I probably will never use. So I've done all that. The strange thing is, it came in a great big box, and actually the width and the length of the box was just the same as the width and the length of this. So it was actually laid flat in the bottom of the box. And the box was about this big, So that was laid in the bottom, and then all this was empty. The box was damaged and it didn't have a handle in it. What it had in it was this. And this thing is sort of threaded, it has threaded inside, which is split, and when you press this red thing, it's almost like a half nut on the lathe. You press that, and the threaded portion opens up. So what I guess it's for is, you can screw that on like that, and then when you press that, you can just pull it straight off. Why it was in the box with this thing, I have no idea. Because after I bought it from a place called Tool Lots. I looked up Tool Lots, and God, the reviews were terrible. So all the time I was waiting for it to come. It didn't take long to come. And the first couple of days after I bought it, I hadn't had any confirmation of the purchase. I checked and the money had gone out the bank, and I was just going to phone them last Monday, and I got an email to say it had been shipped. So I said, don't know what that is for. Wasn't worried about this not being there, because I'm going to make a stand for this and put a foot pedal on it, so that when I press my foot pedal, this pulls down. So for the moment I've just clamped it on there, a couple of big clamps, and we'll have a go with it at some point. Alright, so is there anything else to mention? Oh, I got my settling bottle. I had a comment about using propane, because it's a lot easier to get hold of and it's cheaper, and I thought that's not a bad idea, because now I have the TIG, I virtually never gas weld. It's all about heating things, so I might change over to propane. Lorry, because the settling bottle's only little, only comes up to about your waist, and it was $70 to get it refilled. What's that, 50 quid? So, mind you, it lasts me about 12 months. Alright, enough waffling. Let's get back to the tank. Right, well, we just had a little camera malfunction. I was waffling on, telling you about this, and when I got to look at it, there's nothing there. Battery had gone down, but it hadn't clicked off, so I don't know what it was. So I put another battery on, and then nothing would work. And so I took the lens out to have a look inside at the shutter mechanism, and the shutter was up. Not the shutter, well, yeah, the shutter that flips up out of the way, so the light goes, because there's a mirror. It's not the shutter, it's the mirror that's down for the pentaprism on top of the camera. But when you go, so you're looking at the view screen on the back, it flips the mirror out the way, so everything going through the lens reaches the sensor at the back. So I fiddled around for ages, and then when I took the lens off and saw that, I just used the shutter, put the lens back on, used the shutter as normal. The mirror came down and then everything was fine. So anyway, what I was telling you was that I did work on this a bit last week, and actually what you would have seen me do was, this was a bit closer and that was sticking out, and I worked that on my knee to bring this round. So this now touches all the way around the bottom. Got the slightest little bit of work to do there. You can see that virtually touches, then it moves away. So what I've got to do is we're going to use the deep shrinker to shrink this complete corner. Sort of all of that. And then if we bring everything down, we should be about finished with this side. And I'm going to need, Dick sent me a video from a chap who does aeroplane restorations, and it was all about annealing, and he never anneals the alloy. He went into it in depth. I won't talk about all of that as to why and what have you, but basically he never anneals it for all sorts of reasons. So that was interesting, because particularly when I do the bottom, I noticed in between doing one base and forming the tunnel, when I hadn't annealed it, I'd had to, you remember a couple of tanks back I'd made a wooden form and I just could not form it over it. In the end I had it sort of on blocks under the welding table with a jack to force it in. And then the last one I did, when I annealed it really well, it just folded over. It was great. So I'm certainly going to anneal the bottom. Alright, so what I was saying before everything went kafooey is, let me mark this. Oh, hang on, excuse me. So what we want to do is we want to get it to shrink from there we want the whole of that to shrink. Now again, there's a chap in the UK I watch called Trev's Blog, and he seems to work at a car restoration place. He is so good, makes all sorts of strange little panels. And he just got a deep throat stringer, and he was doing exactly this same thing. Now when Lazzy did it, he drew lines there, and he started here heavily shrinking and less pressure, and then he moved around and did it on his sort of pie lines. When Trev did it, he worked this, and he said you'll get a bump, then just work the bump a little bit, and then he came back to this and he worked his way in sort of around the edge, from the edge inwards, did all the edge. And so we'll see which one works best. Alright, let's see what we can do. I made up a handle for now, and this will probably be the basis for the foot pedal thing, so that goes into there. Okie dokie. See, this is going to be a bit awkward. I need this facing the other way, don't I? Hang on. Right, we'll try again. Oh, when I was getting my settling, I bought myself one of these little TIG torch holders. It was like, I think it was $10, £8, £7. And the magnet on this is absolutely unbelievable. Generally, you've got to slide it on and off. Oh, enough waffle, Michael. Right, so what we'll do, we'll try the Lazzy method. supposed to be heading towards the corner. I didn't do that quite last time actually. Should draw some lines on, shouldn't I? And then of course he wheels this. Get it. Can you see me over here? Hang on. Probably not. No. Hold on. Whoops. I wobbled you then. Oh, there we are. I can get you in. See both. You know what? I think that's working. Let me I know where I go. Let me try right along the edge. Oops. Gloves in there. I can feel this shrinking that. I can even see the whole sheet move then. And see, come down at that end. That seems to have moved it further away. You know, this is a little touching here. Touching here is not touching in the middle. It needs. I don't know if I've got enough metal to be good. That's definitely moved that way. I think I need to wheel this and bring it over. Okay, we'll try that. Right, well, fortified with a banana sandwich and a cup of tea, I have come back and I welded that up and I beavered on and ta-da! So I've just marked under here with a pencil, so let me trim this off. Oh damn, it's not touching all the way. Hang on, it's catching on something. I mean, look, it's in there, it's along there. I'm going to do this pencil mark again. But that fit, there's a tiny bit to do at this end. The tiniest little bit. I don't know how to get that over. That's basically, actually I can draw this on the top, I think. I hate it when I do this. I say, let me just make this tiniest little alteration, and then gently I'm bloody miles off again. Yeah, you see, I'm up in the air again. Oh, this just to come up, it's just there, it's over the centre line. Here it's just on this side, there it's over the centre line. And you see, I've got enough metal here, if it was bent a little bit more, that it'd come right across here. How do I get that to come in there like that? Of course, when I make this side, I can make it a little bit bigger, you know, a little bit over the top. And then when I offer this edge, if I get this edge cut straight, when I got that one on, I put this one on top of it, mark this one with that edge, and then the two will butt up. But that's down on that piece of wood I screwed to the bottom. That, look, is the least little bit of dolly in there. Tiny little bit, I think, of dolly in there. That's what it is. It looks great. I mean, it looks really nice. Hang on, let me turn it around and I'll show you. Now you see, it's just there, it bumps up. That needs shrinking to bring it in. Excuse me. There to there needs shrinking. Just spotted another tiny crack. See, because you'll see when that up there, so it's dead right along the top. See how it's jumped up here? That needs just... Actually, that needs wheeling a little bit. It's got a bit... Let me wheel that, which will make it move. Let me shrink that and then wheel it. As I say, that's in really nicely. I've been thinking about how to do this. For the other side, I'm going to make a little wooden form with sort of a step in it, so I can put that on and hammer into there and make that go in. But blending that in is just nice. That shrinking worked up in that corner a treat. That wants to go in just the tiniest. See, if I push that in, it's going to bring that out. If I put the tiniest little bit of, that's right at the front. See, I think that little widow's peak there, just pressing on the book. God, that's nice. Gotta get that top to go. At the worst, it's 1/4 of an inch. Needs to go that way. Just needs to get formed over that way. This is where the bump is. Let me wheel this. Make sure I've got a wheel that's the right curve. Let me shrink that bit first, and then wheel it. Oh, perfect timing, Laurie. I think I'm going to have to be out in the snow tomorrow. It's still snowing, and the weather forecast has got 3 days at 40. Back down to about 20 at night, so below freezing at night, and some rain. So if I don't shift this stuff off the drive, it'll just turn into a skating rink. Alright, are you ready for this? Are you sitting down? It's touching all the way around the front. It's touching all the way along the top. Basically all the way along the bottom. Now you see the little bit there. Now I'm not worried about that, because it struck me at the back. It's actually got to go over the tube a little bit. So I was probably going to have to trim the lip of the base. Other than that, got a couple of minor little dimply things which will dolly out. That's got to run the wheel just up there once or twice just to get that curve perfect. Because the problem is, I don't remember how I did half of it. But I think tomorrow, as I say, I'm going to have to be out on the tractor for a couple of hours. But tomorrow I think we'll do the base, because I want to sit this on the base to see how it is. And then when we do the other side, I'm not going to do that bashing. I'm going to start with this corner. I'm going to make the paper template off this, right? Then I'm going to bring this corner in and get that front to fit and get that to go roughly right. Then we're going to make this indented panel here, and then we're going to form that, and I think I can do it. And it's not going to take me 3 weeks. That's not half bad. Let's go and see what it looks like on the bike. Right, I popped a couple of bits of foam in the way it's going to be. I think that engine mounting's going to be in the way. I'm going to have to cut a little piece out of the tunnel, or see if I can change the mount so it's more on the inside. And I just noticed as well, this has perished. So I ordered one over the weekend. Well, I ordered a couple actually. Right, let's see how this looks. Actually, that fits without the wood there. That fits so well, that's perfect. Now of course I can't see this, I'll have to look at the video. Let's put some tape on it. Hang on, let me find a couple of pieces of tape. I'm not going to switch you off, you just twiddle your thumbs for a minute. Because I want to come round and see how this looks. What's an extra minute of video? Probably sat with your feet up on Sunday, aren't you? Can't believe how well this fits without the wood there. Oh, I think one piece will hold it, won't it? Ho ho! That looks just the job. Oh, I'm pleased with that. Made it so thin at the back I'm going to be tight for the petrol tap. And I think I should get some drive badges, paint that orange. Man, let me walk around the front and look at this. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. It's just about level at the bottom. Well, I don't think I have any room to put the petrol tap in. God. It's going to be a bit tight. Anyway, that's good. I'm pleased with that. Let's hope I can make another one for the other side as good. I think what I'll do actually with this, see there's one little, I see a little bump there. Tiniest little bump there and there. As I say, they'll vanish out. So I think what I'll do for that, is this a bit, oh yeah, that's a bit wonky, isn't it? That's why it looks so bad for the petrol taps. I thought that side looked as if it was sloping down. Yeah. So as I say, tomorrow we'll make the base and we'll do make the bobbins up and weld them in. Make our mounting plate for the front. Let's see what we're going to do about that petrol tap. That thing really worked there. Glad I bought that. Alright, that's enough for the day. So I'll see you, well it's probably going to be after lunch tomorrow. Spend the morning on the tractor. But anyway, I'll see you then. Good afternoon. Right, I spent a cold couple of hours this morning out on the tractor. But I got most of the snow out of the way. Well, I got all of the snow out of the way. that I wanted to move, so I guess we had, I don't know, about 7 inches. So I definitely didn't want 7 inches of snow starting to melt and then freezing. Sun's out now actually. Right, so I've annealed this. We'll get this bent. That's taking some bending. Is that why I got these out for last time? Move this so I can put some longer handles on it all the time. Yeah, I went over a bit. I'm going to rig up something so I know when I get to a right angle on this. Put felt tip on both sides and it's gone both sides. It took me quite a while to anneal it. You'll have to excuse my head. Yeah, that does stick up a bit. That is definitely too much. That's more like it. Get a fraction of that as well. Alright, I've scribed a mark down the centre. Let's go and see if we can bend it over our tube. Alright, I bought a pack of gloves, so might as well use them. I want to be able to see both ends of this so that I can make sure it's centered. This is why I wanted that thing I made to work, to give me a nice even and bend with a bit of mechanical advantage. That last one bent so much easier than this. I wonder if I can get this to go in that thing. Let's try it. Now it's bent a bit. Alright, we'll give it a whirl. Let me clamp this end down. God. Right, try again. Bloody hell. This is just sliding because it's on a slope. I don't want this to... Oh man! Perfume! I'm a bit more. All right. Okay, let's see what that's like in various places. Right, so the catches on those, but this bracket, you'll notice this is a straight plate. This bracket and that bracket's made out of the same material, teak pitch. So what I can do is I'm going to put this on the inside, and then that should just give me enough clearance. What I might also do actually is countersink the holes on this a little and use I've got some 5/16 countersunk bolts that I use for the bash plates, and then this will virtually, I'm losing then for, you know, the thickness. It only just catches, but I'm losing the thickness of one head and that eighth, so there's a good 1/4 inch I can probably get rid of. But it is also catching, let me move you, on these two bolt heads. It's going past the coil, there's just enough room for that, but they stick out a lot too far. So when I make the bracket, when I make the plate here for the tank to stand on, I could move that down there. So I'm not worried about that, but I'll take these off so that we can sit that on. Right, so that's on, and it's a bit of fold front and back. Well, that's strange. That should just sit straight on there. I've obviously measured something incorrectly. This is going to be bent down. Need cutting out a little bit up there. Cutting off a bit there. That's fine. We'll get this done. We'll get the brackets put on. What I think this end needs bringing in, crimping up a little bit. So let me just work on that slightly, and then we'll see about these mountings. Alright, so we're going to need a little remedial work on the skin, but so this more to the back. Right, got that little gap there, but I'm not worried about that because we're not putting the buck on here, we're putting the skin on here. But where it does come out is, I don't know, can you see that black line there and one there? That's from this. This was made off the cardboard template. And what I made it for is I'm going to put that on there, put it back on the wood part, clamp it down, and then I can fold that over. Right, so that should be the size of the bottom. Put that on. See that? We're actually miles out at the back. The back. Put the back on like that, and that's all right. But I'm a bit. I can't bend as much on the curved part, so I don't know. What has happened there? take that little bit out of that, that'll go into there. Actually, that's the best thing to do. This needs shaping out, which I thought I might a little, didn't I say that at the back end? So let's see about folding this edge over. Right, so there's the piece clamped on, got the original wood underneath. This I've had to rework slightly. It was more than 2 inches here, so it was sticking out, but it was less than 2 inches back here. So now when I've moved it, it's closer to being what it should be. Well, that's going over nicely. Well, this is working well. See, this is what happens when you do the job right. Instead of prattling around with a pair of pliers and that, take the time to make the wooden form. Oh, the screws are coming out of that. Let me move you. Would you believe it? The last tiny little bit is going to be awkward. Oh, come on now. Can you still see this? More or less, hold on. See, that's what I meant about. Somewhere to put the tap. This plywood, actually it's cheapish sort of plywood from a box. Excuse me. Yeah, that's stripped. See how that end's going to have to be. Redone a bit. It's close. We've got to get this finished, and then I'll just have to rework that, and then we'll make a new one for the other side. So let me press on with this. So I've done that all round both sides. I've made this a bit too narrow at the back, but never mind. The next one will be exactly right, but you can see now how that fits over there. So we just need to cut the back end, because the back end of the tank goes round level with that. So we're going to have to just cut a little bit out, and that'll fit on there, and then it should fit on there perfectly, I think. I've got see, cut that out, and that'll drop down onto there, and then when that drops down onto there, that front will be right. So it's coming along. So the next thing I'm going to do is drill that, drilled there, you see. That goes in, gets welded into there, and then that screws into there. So that would be in there, you see, and then that goes onto our bracket down there, and then it's rubber mounted at the front. So that's coming on all right, I think. Do we want it up a bit at the front, down a bit at the back maybe? Yeah, I've definitely made that too narrow. This tap is a 12mm one. I think I only need a 10mm, and that's like the sort of, yeah, that goes on there like that, you see. Well, let's do it right so you know what's happening. That goes on there like that. Then there's an O-ring, and then when that screws, oh God, now I've ordered one that comes out at an angle. We might have to put this right here, you know. Because it's certainly get this thing off here, because this is actually needs to be bigger than that. Wouldn't it be awful if after all this it doesn't work? See, there's barely enough room for that to, certainly can't go in back there where I'd like it to be. Well, I suppose it could. A little bulge there. Oh dear, dear, dear. I did not think that was as narrow as that at the back. I mean, as long as the tank is level, oh, silly, silly Michael. I'm so intent, see, on the shape. I forgot the practicality of that. See, I can't have it tipped up that you might think, oh, I'll put it there and have the tank tipped up, but you can't. Because then you'd, unless you had two taps. Well, I could put two taps in. We'll get the mountings put on it. That 10mm tap will come, which probably has about the same size thing as this, but it does, instead of being a straight down one, it comes out at an angle. Well, we will solve that problem when we come to it. All right? Anyway, that's enough for today. Well, I just did the video last night and I found we've got an hour and 5 minutes already. So we're going to call it a day, even though we're sort of halfway through something. And Linda's away for a few days next week, just before Christmas. So I'll probably come out and do some stuff. So there will be a video after Christmas. Maybe not one after the New Year. Who knows? Anyway, I'm making this video even longer. So, as usual, I want you all to stay safe and really enjoy your Christmas.